Hi everybody, I'm Michael and welcome to my video blog, Hidden in Plain Sight. Today we're going to talk about some Hollywood history in an obscure little bungalow in Benedict Canyon that is part of that history that is indeed hidden in plain sight. Now, this story takes place 70 years ago in 1948, and it concerns one of the most popular actors of his time, the original bad boy superstar Robert Mitchum, and his 1948 arrest for marijuana. Now, according to Tinseltown Talk at the time, it was an open secret that Mitchum loved his weed, even going so far, they say, as to walk around with a joint stuck behind his ear at all times. And it was no secret that the Los Angeles Police Department meant business when it came to upholding the 11-year-old Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. And they publicly stated that they were going to drive that scourge, that demon weed, that devil's lettuce, that dementor of youth, that evil weed, marijuana, out of Los Angeles. And they were going to start in Hollywood. Now, what Robert Mitchum didn't know is that LAPD had him on his radar. On August 31st, 1948, Robert Mitchum was a genuine movie star and had top billing in two movies the previous year, a Western called Pursued and the film noir classic Crossfire. He was out partying with his friend, real estate agent Robin Ford. Towards the end of the evening, they ended up at the home of starlet Lila Leeds with the intention of smoking some grass. Mitchum knew Leeds from RKO Studios, where he was under contract. They drove along Laurel Canyon Drive, finally ending up at 8443 Ridpath Drive, the Benedict Canyon bungalow in which Lila Leeds and her roommate, dancer Valerie Evans, lived. According to a Los Angeles Police Department statement at the time, this bungalow was the perfect reefer den, nestled on a mountainside on a sparsely populated street in Benedict Canyon. 70 years later, that privacy is gone, and that bungalow is part of a densely populated street. If you decide to go by the house, keep in mind that the street is narrow, crowded, and parking is close to non-existent. I decided to drive by for the footage of the house as it is today. Mitchum and Ford arrive, go inside, get comfortable, and spark up a couple of joints. After partying a while, a little after midnight, Evans hears something scratching at the back door. Thinking it's her dog, she opens it. In bust the LAPD vice detectives, and through that cloud of pot smoke, they catch them in the act. The bust made a splash in papers across the country that day and during the trial in January 1949, where Mitchum and Leeds were convicted and sentenced to 2 years of probation, 60 days of that in jail, and a $1,000 fine. The charges against Robin Ford and Valerie Evans were dropped, although Ford was sentenced on an unrelated charge. Lila Leeds' budding career never recovered from the bad publicity of the arrest and trial. Allegedly becoming hooked on heroin, she became a pariah at the major film studios, and the only work that she could get after her release from jail was in a 1949 drug exploitation film called The Devil's Weed, later renamed She Should Have Said No. Unable to find work in films, Leeds left California and moved around the Midwest, doing a cabaret act in nightclubs before finally returning to Los Angeles in 1966, where she became involved in missionary work. Lila Leeds died in 1999 in Canoga Park, California. On the other hand, Mitchum's career didn't suffer at all from the arrest. thanks to an aggressive publicity campaign by the PR department at Howard Hughes' studio, RKO Pictures. They did photo ops of Mitchum in jail, and after his release, his film career continued, his badass, tough guy image enhanced. Mitchum's conviction was overturned 2 years later in January 1951 when it was revealed that the bust was an LAPD setup, rumored to have been orchestrated by so-called friend Robin Ford. Robert Mitchum went on to star in acclaimed films The Night of the Hunter, Cape Fear, and many others. He worked steadily in film and television until his death in 1997 in Santa Barbara, California. So that's the story of Hollywood legend Robert Mitchum's 1948 arrest for marijuana and the obscure little bungalow in Benedict Canyon that's part of Hollywood history that's hidden in plain sight. I hope you liked the video, and if you do, please hit the like button and subscribe below for future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'm going to leave you with a last look of the Mitchum Pot Bust House as it stands today. Thanks again, and see you next time.